Ooh. 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 Okay, I'm like too goofy and excited. Hi, you guys. Oh my gosh, we're in my Toronto condo, which I'm calling my Torcondo. Torcanto? My Toronto condo. Yeah, my view is amazing. And it's so blown out from here, so you can't really appreciate, but the harbor is right there. Oh yeah, when I turned around, it got dark in a way that you still can't see. The water's down there. I'm really high up in the sky. I am in I think a 60-story building, and I'm on the 41st floor. It's amazing. I love it. It's awesome. Today I walked around a little bit because I broke my iPhone. It still works, but I cracked the screen and it's like all the way across the thing. I actually broke it in Chicago. I dropped it right before my last speaking engagement there, and it went kink, and I'm like, oh. And I was like, well, the cover is still on it, so it's not really bad. It's just a little corner fracture. And then I got to my hotel in New York and dropped it again, and it went across more. And I was like, okay, I now dropped my phone in 2 states. And I texted Keith to tell him as much. And he was like, what states are you in? And I'm like, actual like states. And then last night, fucking dropped it here. And I'm not like hands on it dropping it. It's that it's so slick because it's glass on all the sides. And so it's just slick. And so I put it on something and it slides off. And apparently now it's cracked all the way across to the other side. So today I went to what Google says is an Apple store within, however meters here. So 210 meters from where I'm staying. And I'm like, it's super easy, like right across the street, basically. So I went out into the world to go get it fixed. And everybody's like, there's no Apple store here. And I'm like asking people like, no, that Google Maps says there's an Apple. They're like, you want to go to Eaton Center, Eaton Square, Eaton EATON Square, I think, whatever. Some mall thing. That as I started walking to it, I was like, no, this is not what I was seeing on the map. So I went back around and I was like, I'm going to fucking find this place. So I go into this, I'm staying in the financial district. So I walk into this place that's clearly an office building, and it's got like a big sign for Amazon. And I was like, it's the executive offices of a bunch of like fancy places. And as I go in, the security guard is wearing a bulletproof vest, sitting behind the desk. And I'm like, okay, that seems a little much, and he's looking at me like, why are you coming at me on a Sunday, lady? And I was like, hi, Google tells me there's an Apple store here. Clearly there isn't, but what am I missing? And he's like, yeah, it's the Apple executive offices. We've told Google to fix it. They won't fix it. Everybody's told, like, it's just that you need to go to Eaton Square, Eaton Center, Eaton whatever. And I went, okay, great. I'm not going to do that today, because not only was it far, but there was a march/walk/protest going on. And apparently I was wearing, not this, one of the official colors of one of the sides of the gang. So I just was swept up in a big crowd with a lot of chanting. I mean, everybody's Canadian, so it's really polite chanting. But there were signs and some yelling and just a lot of energy. And as y'all know, I have been working on my energy and specifically not picking up other people's energies and stresses. And I decided come back up to the Torcanto and not deal with getting my phone fixed today. So Keith's going to fix it when I get back to LA, which is great because then I'll be able to back it up. I can't do like a backup or a sync or anything while I'm traveling because it messes up the time zones. Because for fuck's sake, I keep my computer on Pacific time when I travel. Because if I don't, it changes everything on my calendar from the entire history of my life. And I'm like, I actually put shit on my calendar before I traveled for the time zone I knew I was going to, so it would be local for that local time. And if I fucking let you do the world clock, stupid computer. If I let you go up and feed from the Apple brain, you suddenly will go, oh, all things need to be changed by 3 hours. And that's not true. So I just leave it like not talking to the cloud, because also the cloud is just some other guy's computer. Anyway, with that, I see we do have a bunch of y'all here. Not a bunch, a few of y'all here. It's a Sunday. It's a holiday weekend in the States, and apparently in London we have a bank holiday, because I was Skyping with one of you beauties yesterday. Not Skyping. I don't Skype anymore. I Zoom. I was Zooming yesterday because Skype is a bloated program that is slowing down my machine. So I use Zoom now, and I Zoomed with a ninja of London to arrange or start arranging an alumni like SMFA escape, a mini escape, a masterclass for a while. I'm there in November. Woohoo! So anyway, I learned that it's a bank holiday there on Monday. Good to see you too. Everything's just saying comment from Facebook, comment from Facebook. So I have no idea who's actually here. It just says, yeah, comment from Facebook. Like, I've got this whole line of comment from Facebook. So I don't know who you are, everybody, but I'm glad you're here. This is the first time I'm using Be Live to go live in the dojo. So hopefully everything is working well. We'll find out. I'll go back and watch the replay later and see if maybe this broadcast outside of the dojo Facebook group, but it shouldn't have, because that's where I told it to happen. And Be Live is what I use out on my main page for communicating with the internet at large in my Facebook Lives, which I'll be doing another one on, I want to say Wednesday. Aaron, where's my calendar? I know Aaron's not here. Yeah, Wednesday. I'll be doing another big Facebook Live on Wednesday to answer final questions about getting gear for the next tier, which of course all you guys are already in. This one, I wanted to make sure that we're clear on the whole getting involved in the live. Hi, I have no idea who you are. Thanks for being here. It just says comment from Facebook on everybody. So I have no idea who's saying hello. And talking about Zooming, but hi. I'll find out when I'm done and going back and looking at the replay. I'll find out who said what, unless you want to like put your name after something. Kim from Chicago. It does help. Hi. Thank you, sweetheart. Glad you're here. It was so good to get to jam with you in person while I was in Chicago with the phone I had not yet broken by the time I saw you. Broke it 2 days later. Anyway. Again, I have no idea who you are, who hasn't heard of Zooming, so I can't, anyway, it's hilarious. It's like, is Mercury retrograde in this broadcast? Okay, so this is good. I'm learning that for dojo Facebook Lives, we're probably better off with me doing what I do when I'm at home, where I have all my gadgets. I actually have a dedicated, I don't know who Pa is, but hi, Pa. I'm sorry, I seriously have no idea who you are. Hey, Michelle, good to see you, sweetheart. I'm glad you're here because I know you have a question specifically. Let me pull up your question. Hey, Theron. Okay, good. Thanks for saying hi, y'all. All right, Miss Michelle, I have your question here. Anyway, back at home studio. Where are you? Where's your question? There, Michelle's question. At my home studio, I actually have a cool iPad 2 mini, I think. Keith knows, whatever it is. And I use that for broadcasting directly into the dojo because it's on a tripod right next to the space that I use for my home office. Anyway, and hey, John, good to see you. Great jamming with you while I was in New York. Using that, I can see who everybody is without y'all having to sign off on your comments. So maybe we'll just keep doing that for when I'm doing group-specific Facebook Lives. Anyway, for the SMFA Getting Gear for the Next Tier live action, we're doing calls. So those aren't going to be Facebook Lives. They're going to be live calls that we do through the same thing that we use. Hey, Patrice, no worries. We're going to be doing calls like we do for the free quarterly calls. And if you're in the All Access program, what we use for the monthly calls. And if you're a coaching client and you've ever done a non-Skype session, you've done a mini coaching call, you're able to do a call through the call center as well. So anyway, Michelle, you asked I don't think I qualify for a mentor. Correct. The only people who qualify to be mentees, okay, the only people who qualify to get mentored are people who are enrolling now, and they use mentoring as an enrollment bonus, which means when they enroll, the clock starts ticking, and they have 7 days to, hey, Judy, get a tweet out that says, and the tweet is in your email from around day 70. I think you received it on day 70, your first time through. But it's also posted in the Dojo Facebook group. Aaron has put it up in the files area, so you have it for reference, even if it's been a year plus since you actually experienced your first day 70. You're able to get that tweet and give that to your mentee. He or she has to tweet it out within 7 days of enrolling, and you retweet it, and I retweet it, and then that gets you in the queue to receive emails, both you and your mentee, on the around, I think, the 10th day of the program for your mentee. So right now during the live program, obviously that's going to be June 10th because that's day 10 for everybody. But when we're doing a non-live round and people are just joining any day of the year, they're day 10 whenever that happens to be. If we're past the first 7 days of your mentee's enrollment, the tweet doesn't count. If they have already done the program before, it doesn't count. I see people like buddying up and calling it mentoring with people who've been in the program for a year or 6 months or even a month. And, all of that is great. I love seeing the buddying up, but it doesn't qualify you for the mentor bonus because it is an enrollment incentive. And I just want you to think about it from a business perspective. What we're doing is trying to incentivize enrollment by saying, you can enroll with a mentor, and in addition to getting that support and having somebody to meet you in the dojo and answer questions for you and help you in the comments and be there for you for any outside accountability, you both also get a coaching call with me as a thank you for buddying up and to help you along those 100 days of your mentee's journey first time through. So let me know if you've got any questions about that. I do have my spreadsheet here of who has mentees. So if you're like, I need to know if you got mine, first tell me who you are, since in the comments here, it's just saying everything, comment from Facebook. Like whoever just commented, I'm in All Access and didn't know there was a monthly call. Yes, All Access has always had a monthly call. That's a big part of the membership. And we send out emails. So that always baffles me when, like, in the welcome kit and in the emails that go out and say, hey, it's time for the monthly call. And there are people who go, oh, I didn't know I got private coaching. And it's like, okay, so there's some people who don't know there's monthly calls. There's some people who don't know there's private coaching. I'm like, I can't make it simpler. It's on the sales page when you enrolled. It's in the welcome kit. And we send out a bajillion emails to inform you that it's time and that the recording is available. And it's all in the dojo space. Like, there's a big All Access membership area that has all of this there, as well as material reviews. And so anyway, but that's a different program. So we can deal with any customer service that it needs to happen with that outside of this environment. So let me see what else Michelle asked. Do we approach anyone on the list? Yes, you can buddy up with anybody, and you can even buddy up with somebody who's not on the list. Like, if there's somebody that you know is in the program who hasn't listed themselves as an official mentor, but it's somebody that you dig and they dig you and you just kind of want to jam with one another unofficially, oh my God, please do. Don't feel like you have to formalize the arrangement in order to get benefits from it, because there's so much to be gained from just having that shoulder to lean on, that person who has been through the program and made it to that day 70 benchmark and who feels like they've got a really good handle on the curriculum. And even if you're like, I don't have the best handle on the curriculum, but I want to be a mentor because I learn better when I'm engaging with someone else about what we're doing, then mentor. There's not like a quality control situation going on. I certainly have aspirations for what I want, mentors to be to their mentees. I hope that you're encouraging one another, and when you see them tweet, you're retweeting them and replying. And if they're in the comments in any of the curriculum days, expressing that something is a little challenging or frustrating, or they've had a breakthrough, that you're there for them. And then, of course, I love it if you're getting together in person, or you're having Zoom or Skype or whatever, Google Hangout meetings to connect with one another. I love seeing that kind of support taking place, even if it's not formalized through the mentor program. But for those of you who want to be a mentor, just make sure that you are listed on the official mentor list. Talk to Erin about that if you are not already on there. But there's a list both in the dojo and in the main Facebook group. And the main Facebook group obviously is the more important place to be seen by potential mentee pairings, because people who are now looking to enroll to start with us live on Thursday at, 10 p.m. Pacific is the deadline to get registered. But Friday midnight Pacific time, so just 2 hours after the registration deadline, we start our live round. We've got people who are right now actively looking for mentor pairings so that they can have that connection and enroll with that bonus and knowing that they have that. So I'm super stoked for how many people have enrolled, how many of y'all have come back in and said, I'm in. If you're watching this and going, what do you mean I'm in? If you go to the email that you received on April 27th, April 28th, depending on your time zone, but April 27th, April 28th, I sent out emails to everybody that says, psst, if you want to join Getting Gear for the next year live, open this email. And all you have to do is reply and say, I'm in. There's no additional cost. You're not having to re-up for membership beyond what you're currently doing. So if you are in the ongoing mentorship of, I have a bruise under the skin that I am just now seeing, and I have no idea where that came from. Wow. What did you do? I hit something. It wasn't Keith, because he's not here. I haven't seen him in almost a month. I hit something. I don't even remember hitting anything. It doesn't hurt. It's just clearly there's a blood blister under there. Anyway, stop playing with it. If you, what did I want to say? Fish out that email and hit reply, because if you are in your first ever 100 days and just graduated and just got access to the dojo, or if you've been with us from the inaugural class and have been in the dojo Facebook group since we created it upon graduation in April, May of 2017 for the inaugural class, all you have to do is reply to that email and say, I'm in. And when you say I'm in, we add you to the queue to receive all the emails all over again. So we do the whole 100 days just like we did before, plus the phone call emails. So please check your inbox. Like, oh my God, check your inbox. There's so many people who are like, I had no idea this was happening. And I'm like, I can't make you open emails that I send you. And I understand that we get lazy or we get efficient and go, I'm just going to send everything over to a filter and I'll deal with it later. And then we open up and we're like, oh my God, there's 1,000 emails I haven't read. I can't come to your house and tell you, hey, there's this opportunity that is just a benefit of your ongoing membership, no extra cost, just say I'm in. Like it's in the email. And I've done it here, talked about it here, tweeted about it, Instagrammed about it, put it all over Facebook. Other than having like my team clock in and then go poke each of you individually with a text or something, which we're just not going to do because, oh my God, live your life. We assume if you're not responding to this, you don't want to do the live round. And there are plenty of people who aren't interested in doing the live round. But if you are interested and you're like, what are you talking about? Fish out that email, hit reply, say I'm in. That's all you have to do. It gets you in the queue. And if you're like, I have already deleted that email, I marked it as spam, I don't have it, whatever, find an email from us and say, I'm in for the live round when you hit reply, because it goes to the whole team and then we can get you in the system so that you get access to everything. So we just last night gave access to the Start Strong page to all the new people. You, of course, have always had access to all the 100 days because once each day unlocks, it never locks up until you leave. So even those of you who have come back to the membership, you, as soon as you came back, immediately got everything reopened because you've already been through it once. So nothing closes just because you want to go through the live experience. You just now get emails again, plus the emails for the calls, which are taking place every 10 days. And last night we gave access to all the new folks. And of course, you guys already had access, but we sent an email welcoming you to the Start Strong page and inviting you to play with your welcome kit, because we have some pre-day one homework that we have not had previously. It is specifically for the live round, involving Gretchen Rubin and the 4 tendencies, so that we can best support you when you identify what it is within her framework that is how you are more likely to get shit done and to make a lasting change in your life. So we've already had people having conversation in the dojo, in the Start Strong page, in the membership area, not the dojo Facebook group, having conversations about whatever their primary style is. And so there was the very first one to go up was from Laura, and she goes, "What? I'm a questioner?" And of course it's a question. And I was like, "You're amazing. It's great." And of course it makes perfect sense. And then Lisa came on and said, "Damn it, I'm an obliger." And I knew I would be even before I took the quiz, just looking at the options. And then Alejandra came on and is an upholder, which is what I am. We don't yet have anybody who's a rebel having replied. And that actually makes perfect sense, because if you're a rebel, you're like, yeah, fuck that. I don't have to say so in the comments. And so, it just, to me, makes perfect sense that everybody's kind of aligning with what that framework says is most likely for the way you learn and the way you make change and create habits and all that fun stuff in your life. So if you're like, what are you talking about? Oh my God, go to the welcome kit. It's all right there. I promise. I'm not hiding anything from you. It is all right there. And even if you're like, I haven't replied to say I'm in yet, the welcome kit is on the Getting Gear sales page. So if you just go to BonnieGillespie.com and click Getting Gear, you can get the welcome kit from there. You can also map out the count from the calendar that's in there, all of our calls, because we're going to do them every 10 days. So excited about this. We're going to get on the calls together, and they're going to be at 2:30 Pacific every 10 days. So the first one's June 10th, then June 20th, June 30th, July 10th, July 20th, July 30th. And then because July has 31 days, we shift to August 9th, and therefore August, what is it? Then the 19th, and then the 29th, and then September 8th. And that's our final call. So that's the 10 calls right there. I just told you the whole calendar. Map it out on your calendar. If you're not going to be there live for any of the calls, you will be able to listen to the replay. And even if you were on the call live and want to listen to the replay, you can do that. You can submit questions ahead of time. And we're going to basically ask you to identify what is your favorite day of the 10 that we've just done. And if you're like, I only did 3 of the days, great. Then of those 3, which one was your favorite? We're also going to ask you to identify breakthroughs and blocks. What are any breakthroughs that you're having, and what are any blocks that you're facing? And we're just going to jam. We're going to get on these calls and have conversations about the 10 days of curriculum that we've just done and how we're feeling and what we, Team Cricket Feet, can do to support you as you continue through your journey. Ta-da! We're going to learn a lot. We're doing our first ever live round because, as y'all know, those of you who've been with us from the inaugural class, January of 2017, which some of you enrolled as long ago as November of 2016. Thank you very much. Y'all know we didn't do live calls throughout that. So even though the days were unfolding for everyone in the inaugural class one at a time, and that experience is going to be similar to what the new class is going through, because they're going to all see each new day on a schedule together, which is really cool. And we're closing off enrollment to anybody else, even people who want to come back. So basically we're saying no to any money for Getting Gear for the next year for almost 4 months, for more than 4 months. We're going to learn a lot. We may decide like, oh, that was a horrible idea. And we so are used to people being able to come in anytime that they want that we don't want to cut that off. Or we may have a continued surge in enrollment with people excited about the live round that we go, oh, this actually works really well. And we love the concentrated energy on the live round and being there for these phone calls and being able to create support in a whole new way. we may decide that this is the way we want to do it from here on out, and we may only ever open enrollment a couple times a year. Don't know. We're going to learn a lot together, and that makes me super happy. So now I'm going to show you whatever that tower is. There's a restaurant at the top of it. Otherwise, I don't know what it does. It has elevators that run up and down through the glass thing all day and night, and at night they light it up different colors, but I don't actually know what that building's called, and I probably should know. But let me show you that while y'all type up any questions that you might have for me. Look at that! Can you see it? Oh, it's so pretty. I love it. I love it. And over this direction toward me, over my shoulder that you can't see from here, is the harbor. And so I've been watching the ferry go back and forth, taking people to each side of the harbor, take people across the harbor. Oh, the ferry's in action right now, bringing people back to the mainland. And then there's also a little airport over there, so I'm getting to watch planes take off and land on that little airstrip over there. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, I haven't seen any comments come by in a while. It is like the Space Needle. Okay, great. There's a comment. Okay, good. Yeah, and I actually referred to it as the Space Needle the other day, and then I was like, I know that's not the Space Needle. The Space Needle is in Seattle. And I had brunch there when I was there after the Abraham Hicks cruise in 2016. It was amazing. But anyway, so this is my condo. It is nice. I like it. I decided to do this instead of a hotel for the Toronto leg because I did the hotel living thing for all of Chicago and New York. And it's kind of nice to just like have a condo. For my trips in October into November, I don't think I'm doing any condo living. I am going to be doing hotels, and then the cruise ship. Oh my God, so excited. And then hotels again. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing Airbnb or condo or anything anywhere. I don't know who asked this. Are there a lot of new people signed up for Getting Gear Live that don't yet have mentors? Yeah, but remember, mentorship is an enrollment bonus. So the people who are signed up without mentors don't have mentors. So what you need to do is find someone who has not yet signed up, who intends to sign up and agree to mentor them so that when they sign up, they can put out the required tweet, and you can also put out their tweet as a retweet, and then I can retweet it as well and then get you guys your enrollment bonus. But yeah, we have a lot of new people signed up who have no mentors. They just signed up because they want to do it. They did not need the incentive of mentorship in order to sign up. Patrice, again, super excited for the round. The calls will give me another level of accountability that I will need. Awesome. Yeah, does it even say right there, comment from SMFA Dojo? So this is what it looks like. I have no idea. I mean, I thank you, Patrice, for identifying yourself. I'm excited too. I think the calls are going to add, first of all, a fantastic element of support for places where you're like, I just don't know why, or this isn't clicking for me. The flips aren't working, like day 4, for example, or, we get all the way to day 39. Like, I hate my fascinated advantage. Bonnie, help me understand it. And then I can, even though I talked about it in the video, I can talk about it in maybe a different way, or someone else can hop on the call and share a breakthrough that they had about learning their fascinated advantage and how they've used it to their advantage, how they've used their advantage to their advantage, that may somehow crack things open for you in a way that helps you have an aha moment. And so I'm just super thrilled for that ongoing check-in, and then just the opportunity to hang out a little bit outside of where we do all that work in the curriculum space. So Patrice, thank you. I completely agree. Yes, the Canadian National Tower, the CN Tower. But I don't know is it a cell phone tower that also has a rotating restaurant? I mean, like what's in all the base of it? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Buried treasure. Doubloons. Toonies, loonies and toonies. There's loonies and toonies in that tower. Buried treasure. Yeah. Yes, we go out and about in Canada, as Keith says. Michelle, again. Oh, let me see if I can read this. Watch your ageism video. Did some upper limit and everything else. We talked about research, intense stuff. How's your self-care work doing in Toronto? Thanks for asking, sweetie. Yeah, good. Michelle, yeah, partner up, babe. Definitely partner up. I think it is super helpful, especially if we do better when we have outside accountability. And that's why in the welcome kit, I give that pre-course homework for the 4 tendencies self-test. Because if it turns out you're an obliger, you're only going to succeed when you have someone that you're working accountability with. And so that's part of why adding the calls can even be a powerful element, because you're going to be able to connect with people for showing up for that call. You committed to showing up for that call. You may be more likely to do it than you were in the non-live round. But having a person that you meet with and connect with every couple of days or whatever can really be helpful. So I'm hoping that works for you. My self-care and upper limit work is going really well. I'm thrilled with how my schedule worked out here in Toronto, because I have way more downtime than I had in New York. Chicago, I had some good pockets of downtime, which was good, because Chicago was at the very beginning of me leaving bed rest. And I was still heavily medicated at the beginning of my trip, still on tons of prescription drugs, and really not used to being out of bed for more than 3 hours at a time. And usually being out of bed was, I would go to an appointment, go to physical therapy, go to a chiropractor, go to see a doctor, go to a specialist, go to the spa, get a massage, or sit at my computer for maybe 20 minutes here or there. And it's so funny because I got used to doing so much of my work from my phone. And then the fact that I fucking dropped it and broke my screen, I'm like, the universe really wants me to do less work. Like, it is so clear that, we've gotten to the point where I can't use my computer, then I can't use my phone. And I'm like, then I'm just really going to be very selective in what I clock in to get done. And I think that's a fantastic boundary, because I've been so completely overworked for decades, and it's starting to show up. That plus the healing work that I'm doing is really, I don't want to say challenging, because I get that it's important. I get that what feels challenging about it is that I let my body take on stress that I could not, at whatever time different things happen in my life, process otherwise. And so I'm excited about the opportunity to now actually deal with some incredibly stressful things that happened, even in my very, very early childhood, that I just compartmentalized. As y'all know from doing Getting Geared for the Next Year, my secret power is compartmentalization. And that means that I can just say, this is a thing and it lives over here. And I'm right now in this part of my life, so I don't have to deal with that stuff that's over there. And that ability to compartmentalize is both a superpower and a curse, because the curse of compartmentalizing is, if you've created a whole bunch of silos and some of them got poison shit in it, eventually the groundwater underneath the silos, like the corrosion of the shit in the silos, actually starts to poison the entire field. A little like Aaron Brockovich situation going on with some, Hinkley drinking water that was getting poisoned. So it's a little like that. In that, wow, now I'm having to do some work for decades old shit that I thought I had dealt with, and clearly I hadn't. So it's fascinating, this mind-body connection, the science behind it. I'm so thrilled to be working with the specialist I saw in Chicago. He's got an online class starting up on Tuesday, and we will be teleconferencing as a small group weekly starting Tuesday for like 9-10 weeks. And it's amazing because I'm going to have this access to him nonstop. And he's a medical doctor who also really gets that this is a mind thing. And I'm thrilled to have that level of support. And I've weaned off of almost all of my drugs. I think today I took like a couple of Midol, not for the Midol purpose, but because it's actually a really good painkiller. And I guess a jolt of caffeine, which that I probably need to get in check, but whatever. Because I'm like, I don't drink coffee. I don't drink tea. I don't drink sodas. I'm so good. I never have caffeine. And then I'm like, girl, that Midol you just took had caffeine. So better check that. All right. I learned best from figuring things out with people. So knowing you don't have to be an expert in every single element to mentor sounds more approachable. Yes, whoever you are, a beautiful person, true. Your job as mentor is not to be an expert on all things. That's not even my job. Like, nobody needs to be an expert on all things. Like that's not it. What you need to be prepared to do is have resources for your mentee. When they're in a block, you being able to say, here's what helped me, or you know what, that actually was a really big struggle for me as well. Let's go into the comments and ask Bonnie, or let's go on the call and ask the community and find out what other resources might be available to us, since we're both feeling a block on this. But you're not meant to be an expert in all things ever. Please let yourself off the hook for that. Maybe you're meant to be an expert on all things you, but that can take a lot of time too, as I am currently experiencing. Thanks, Christy. Okay, good. Let's see. And I don't know if this is Christy or if the other one was Christy. Okay, glad to hear self-care stuff is going better. What are you most looking forward to about getting gear for the next year as a massive live round? What I will learn. I'm really looking forward to what I will learn. You know, it's a great opportunity for me to go through all the course materials again, because, you know, I go through every month or so and make sure that if links need to be updated, like where I said, go read this article or go watch this video, or if the song in your email got taken down from YouTube or whatever, you know, because sometimes that's a little like chasing a moving target, because some of those music files that get put up at YouTube get taken down for whatever reason or privatized. And so it's like, you know, I do a regular check to make sure that things are current. And if there's a new article or a new piece of information in any day's topic, I will update the page. And so I will always, you know, be doing those types of things. But what I love about this particular round is it's going to allow me to each day revisit the entire curriculum and optimize it even more and make sure that it is feeling up to speed with the growth that I feel has happened in the industry, and that I feel I've had, and that I know y'all have had in the time since we first put it together. And I think we're going to learn a lot about whether or not live calls add a lot to the experience, because if they do, we may decide that we only ever offer this as a live thing, and you can only enroll when we're doing a live round, but then you can stay in as long as you want and continue to have access to everything for your ongoing membership for as long as you feel that it's useful. But I don't know. We're going to obviously have a post-mortem in September where we talk about what worked and what didn't, and if we decide that, yeah, this is actually an even better way to do it, we may, going forward, only do live rounds. And I mean, continue to give you access to everything as a part of your membership once you've unlocked it. Again, once you've unlocked a day, it doesn't go away until you go away. And that's something you control. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to everything that we're going to learn, and to just getting to chat with y'all about it, not just in the comments, but on the calls. To hear your voices, to hear your enthusiasm, to hear your breakthroughs. Because of course I meet up with a lot of y'all for private coaching throughout the program anyway, because, you know, as you know, you get discounted coaching with me when you're in the program. And so a lot of people take advantage of that and say, yes, I want to do a one-on-one. And a lot of people coach with Keith or hire him to do scripts for them. And so they have Skype meetings or whatever. And there's a lot of interactivity, you know, through this and masterminding in our in-person classes and when I tour around and stuff, which I love. But there's something different about having a whole bunch of people on a call and having moments where people go, yeah, something about that money day really shook me, and I wasn't aware that I had money issues. And then we're able to go, great, here are some additional resources that might help you. And of course, money issues are some of the things that I'm working through right now with Denise Duffield-Thomas and Dana Middleton, who is here in the dojo as well. And it's just phenomenal, the breakthrough work that continues to happen with that. And so I love being able to pull from my life and share, here's what's worked for me. And then I'm looking forward to hearing y'all say, here's something that's working for me too, and add that to the table, to the collective of what's available in terms of resources. Let's see, Destiny, Faith, let's see. Responded to the email with I'm in. Should we have received another confirmation email? Yes, an email went out last night with your welcome kit. Even though you got the initial one when you first said I'm in, you got the email basically said, welcome, here's early access to the Start Strong page. So this should have already gotten to you. I sent it out, I want to say around 9 o'clock Pacific last night. So you should have that. And Destiny is also looking for an accountability buddy. So anybody who would like to buddy up for some extra support and accountability, let's do that. So Destiny, check your spam filter, check your promo tab, check your, social, if it's at Gmail, like all those little places where it likes to hide things. And also go to, let me see if I can put this on here without messing up my little setup here. Go there. That's my reminder to move my body. I'm moving my body. I have an actual reminder on my phone to tell me that I need to move around, because I can't sit for long periods. I can't be in any position for long periods of time without seizing up a little bit because I'm still getting used to coming off all the drugs. So I need to move my body a little bit. So I will end this soon and get up and dance around a little bit, because dancing's fun. And I mean, my God, I have this amazing view that you can't really fully appreciate from this angle. But if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen my Insta stories. I'm like flooding my stories with all the magic that is this view. Grateful you're here for us, even though you're dealing with your own stuff. Hey, you know what? That's life, isn't it? Whoever you are, thank you, and you're welcome. And that's life. Imagine you book your series and you're the showrunner or the series regular or both on a series, and you start going through some upper limit problems because you're living out your wildest dreams and you're going, oh shit, I had wildest dreams kind of out there as a way to move toward a goal, not thinking I would ever actually get there because they were so big, these dreams and these goals. And now I'm there and I've got places in my brain that are not wired for success here. I'm shutting down, fuck, and you still have to show up. So that's part of why I still show up, is because I know that doing my workout in front of y'all is, I mean, not fully. There's a lot that you're not seeing. There's a lot that you'll never see, and you're not meant to with anybody. But by sharing as much as I do, it's meant to hopefully allow you to feel a sense of, oh, wow, this is normal if you ever go through an upper limit problem. And, you know, for Keith and I to go to do some upper limit coaching with Gay and Katie Hendricks. I don't know if Gay is going to be at this one that we're doing in June. I'm so thrilled to actually be able to have conversations about upper limit problems at this level. That what is it when your wildest dreams have come true to such an extent that you actually physically have problems because your brain isn't wired to believe that you could possibly have it all. Even though you say, oh, I can have it all. I can have it all. Of course I can have it all. Of course I can have it all. Of course I can have it all. And then you go, shit, I have it all. Someone's going to steal it. Like somebody's going to steal it. It can't possibly work like this. And then go, yeah, it can. You just have to fortify that even more. And so that fortifying it is part of the work that I'm doing. And the reason I share it is because I don't want you to get to the next tier and hit a stumbling block and go, oh my God, something's wrong with me. How could I be so stupid? How did I not prepare for this? Because y'all, I prepared for this more than anybody, and it still got me. And to then go, okay, this shit's insipid. let's really be sure that we are on the mindfulness work daily so that it doesn't creep in and hobble us right when we've started getting momentum behind our success. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's all about wiring your brain for success. If we don't do that work, none of the shit that I teach you about the fundamentals of self-management for actors makes a damn bit of difference. You can have the perfect headshot, the perfect resume, the perfect demo reel, the perfect website, the perfect social media following, the perfect agent, the perfect manager, the perfect publicist, the perfect stylist, the perfect team and tools. And if your brain isn't wired to be fully accepting of all the success that is going to flood your way, you'll fuck it up. Self-sabotage, addiction, reckless behavior, shooting yourself in the foot, being too scared and pulling back, no showing an audition, oversleeping. Like, how did that happen? You know, things that you're like, I swear I didn't want to create blocks for myself. And you don't. But there's some place in your brain that says it can't possibly be this good. And so that's a lot of what I've been working on right now is the reality that it can actually be this good and even better. And I just have to keep leaning into the work. Your 4 tendencies says you're a rebel, Christy, and it helps with shooting yourself in the foot part, girl. Good. I'm glad to know you're a rebel. Once you know that about yourself, you can then lean into the places where you can give yourself more support for that tendency, because now you never stop. Like, you never have to be mad at yourself for failing at goals, because you can't consistently be motivated by external factors or internal factors. So all the things that help other of the 4 tendencies fortify their ability to make lasting change, all of it is rejected for you. So that inconsistency is something you have to become friends with. So when you become friends with that inconsistency and just go, yep, it's random. I have no idea what's going to motivate me today, but it feels like it might be the idea that I'm going to get to eat ice cream at 9:00 if I accomplish all the things on my to-do list. Great. That doesn't mean that's what's going to work tomorrow. So good. Don't, and Christy, don't have anxiety about failing yourself. Just know that's a part of my tendency, is that I am going to reject things that I see other people motivated by. And so that's why when you're like, how do people keep commitments to themselves and I keep not being able to, you know that inconsistency is a part of the way you're wired. And then you just go, okay, great. So what's motivating me today? And then whatever that is, do it. And then if it is not what's motivating you tomorrow, don't be mad at it. Just go, okay, great, time to reassess. So you just have to constantly reassess in ways that the other 3 tendencies don't have to. Michelle, how do the 4 tendencies compare to Myers-Briggs? Gretchen Rubin talks about that a little bit in her in some of her like podcast episodes. So I think if you do a search for Gretchen Rubin 4 tendencies Myers-Briggs, you'll probably land on at least a couple episodes of her podcast and maybe some videos at YouTube or articles at her website where she has covered how they blend, because there are certain personality types in the Myers-Briggs that align more consistently with different of the tendencies. I'm taking a course with her right now, actually, with Gretchen Rubin, because I knew it would help me support y'all if I knew even more about the 4 tendencies. So I'm taking a class with her, and in our live call last week, she was talking about addiction specifically. And, you know, obviously I have an addictive personality. I started having obsessive compulsive disorder tendencies when I was 3, and panic attacks super, super early on as a coping mechanism for something that happened when I was 3, interestingly enough, which is part of the work that I'm having to do right now in reclaiming and rewiring and working on myself. Anyway, not the point. Point being, she said that the upholder tendency tends to have the least likely occurrence of addiction. And I was shocked, because I'm like, I have a completely addictive personality and I'm an upholder, and I am such an upholder. I am like so classic in terms of upholder. But what upholders do is they have something that's a completist mindset, which is once they've committed to being a certain thing, that's the thing they're going to be. So part of what's been challenging me lately is I was really challenged by not completing drinking all the time. So when I got sober, it was a challenge to my completion of the story of I'm a drinker. Then when I lost 60 pounds, I didn't complete the story of I'm a big girl. Now I'm not a big girl, and I changed the story, and it's very confronting. Further is the I'm a poor girl and I attract money easily, but I only ever have just enough. So I always struggle, but I always find a way. Suddenly gets completely blown out the water with I have all the money I need and more. And this fear that something's got to be wrong. It's going to get taken away. I'm not completing the story of what it always was. And so this complete derailing of stories that I thought I had to complete is part of what has been an upheaval for my upholder tendency, because I'm now not upholding who I told the world I am. And that rocking of my self-concept has been really shaking to my core. And that, having that conversation with her to be able to go, okay, so upholders are not necessarily addictive personalities, but they are completists with what they've told the world they're going to be. And so that means when I've had this many hard left turns on who I am all at once, my self-concept is completely challenged in ways that I have to deal with on the inside, as well as obviously the external ramifications of each of those. And each of those individually would be a lot. And then to have them happen all at once. It's no wonder that I got some shit that I got to deal with my body and rewiring my brain. Anyway, so that's a little off topic, but I'm happy to cover it. And no, I'm not naked. I'm not Keith, not wearing pants. I have on shorts. I'll have you know, you just saw my naked knee, but I have on my my pole shorts actually. Anyway, I'm in my skivvies. I'm in my workout gear. All right. What other questions do y'all have before we wrap up? If any. You don't have to have questions, but I want to make sure that if you do, we get them answered. And those of you who are watching in replay, pop your questions in here as well. And I'll make sure to come back and answer them in the comments of the replay. Don't have anxiety about failing yourself. Don't have anxiety about failing yourself. Like, knowing you're going to fail yourself at some point should reduce the anxiety right away. Because you're like, I am going to fail. This goes back to, I think, day 60. Is day 60 the one that's called One Thing? The song is One Thing. And it's the story about how when Keith picks up Quinn from the airport, he says, we're going to make 10 mistakes today. Let's find out what's first. Go back and revisit, I think it's day 60 that has the song One Thing. And it's about knowing you're going to make mistakes. And so just become curious about what those mistakes are going to be. And so having no anxiety about failing yourself because you know you're going to hopefully helps. Because if you know you're going to fail at some point, because we all are at some point, hopefully releases some of the anxiety that you're carrying around. And just that extra anxiety, oh my God, taking that backpack off, leaving it down, oh my God. Oh, that feels so good. Oh, apparently the Indy 500 just ended. This is a fun fact about me. I watch the Indy 500 every year. I don't know why. I don't care about car racing. I really don't. I never watch it. And then the Indy 500, if it's on, I'm like, ooh. So anyway, Power won, number 12. Number 2, Carpenter. He had been in the lead the most. So an Australian one. Is that the Australian flag, it looks like? Carpenter, the United States guy, was number 2. Dixon, Rossi, and Hunter Ray. So it's all Aussies and Americans. I don't know if that matters to anybody. Day 60, One Thing. Good. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, whoever pulled that up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, good. Oh, what is the discounted coaching rates? I saw a question. Hang on. Thank you. Questions. Is the discounted coaching rate for Getting Gear members something you can discuss here? Oh my God, yeah, of course. Let's do that. Let's have that conversation. I just have to readjust how I'm sitting. And put a pillow here. Okay. Okay. The discounted coaching works like this. If you are in Getting Gear, which everyone watching this right now is, obviously, you not only receive access to me for private coaching, either in person when I tour your city, or in Los Angeles, if you want to come to my home office in Santa Monica, or online. We've been doing Skype. I think we may be shifting to Zoom soon because Skype is just whatever. But don't worry. We'll call it Skype for now because it's just easier. You get to coach with me at a discount while you're enrolled in Getting Gear. So that's anytime during your 100 days or your ongoing membership. If you're staying in the membership for years, like that is always going to qualify you for discounted coaching. And depending on how much coaching you're doing, it actually works out to be a really good deal because for that $30 a month ongoing fee, you're saving hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in coaching, again, depending on how much you're doing. So the way it works is my current rate for an hour is $500. So while you're in Getting Gear, hang on, I don't want to get it wrong. So let me actually pull up my little note to myself. I don't want to get my amounts wrong. This is something that's happened with my brain with all the rewiring and work that we're doing, is that I now have to look more things up. And we can also just say that has to do with aging, but this is different. This is, it's because I've decided not to have to attend to as many things or have to hold as many things in my brain. So the coaching rate for Getting Gear participants is $400. So you get $100 off for an hour of coaching. The 15-minute mini coaching calls are $150 if you're not in the program, and if you're in the program, it's $130. And 3-hour coaching package, which is you buy 3 hours to use whenever. And this is the cool part. You can actually still use leftover hours even after you've left the membership. So you purchase while you're in the program if you're smart. I mean, like, come on, this is such a good deal. Is instead of $1,250 for the package of 3, we drop it down to $1,000. So that's basically like getting one coaching hour totally free. So it's a good deal. So if you're looking into doing coaching with me, the discounts are significant, whether it's a 15-minute, an hour, or a package of 3 one-hour sessions that are spread out over whatever amount of time you need. And there are some people who bought multiple 3-hour packages under the discounted rates and then just have them in the bank to use whenever, so that if there's ever anything that comes up, they're like, I need to get in for a coaching hour, and boom, we've got it. It's in the bank. So I am more than happy to invite y'all in to take care of that. Michelle, big shock that you're an obliger. Yep, I'm glad you're doing a summer of self-care, girl. I feel for you. Really, put that energy on yourself and remind yourself that you're worth it. But because you're an obliger, tell somebody else that you're going to show up for them. And have that accountability buddy. I saw people on here saying they're looking for accountability buddies. Maybe you and Destiny Faith could team up. If there are ways that you could have an accountability buddy, so that even if it's just every day a text goes, I'm in, I did my day. Like, and even if you don't feel like you've done a deep dive of the day, at least you showed up for it and you showed up for yourself. As an obliger, the showing up for yourself doesn't work. That's not an effective way of getting things done. You feel obligated to other people. And so having that accountability buddy is what's going to make a big difference. So I'm glad that you took the test, and I hope that you will lean into what you now know about your tendency within that Gretchen Rubin 4 Tendencies framework, so that you can get the kind of support that you need. Because when you know you're an obliger, you don't start a diet without an accountability buddy. You don't. It's part of the reason I was so successful with Whole30 is because I'm an upholder. So I went, okay, I'm going to do it. And then I just decided, same thing with sobriety. I'm like, I'm done drinking. And then it's done because I'm an upholder. And I'm very grateful that I'm an upholder for all the reasons that it helps me make changes that stick. However, I also know that if I've not decided to do it for me or in front of others or some combination of those two, I will really delay in doing something that I know is good for me, which is why I toyed with sobriety for years before I did it. It's why I toyed with different diets before finally going, you know what works. You know what is shit in your body and what actually feels good. And so, here I've been working out like a crazy person for years and never changing my weight by very much because I was still, throwing shit in my mouth that I knew was not good for me. And then when I went, okay, you know what to do, then everything changed. So I think that being an obliger can be actually really fabulous when you set yourself up for success with it. And that means having people around you who are going to go, I'm checking in. How'd you do? Because you will not fail them. You may fail yourself, but you're not going to fail them. And so having that other person, that sponsor, that mentor, that accountability buddy, that workout buddy, like no matter what it is that you're working on, having that other person is a key to your success as an obliger. If you're a questioner, it just means you have to know the why behind the what. You ask a lot of questions, but one of my coaching clients and one actually of our inaugural class members here in the dojo that I worked with when we were together in New York last week, she's a questioner, and she said, did I drive you crazy? Of course, she asked the question, did I drive you crazy asking all the questions? And I said, before I knew the 4 tendencies years ago, yes, you drove me crazy because I thought you were second guessing everything in our coaching sessions. We would sit together in a coaching session. I would say, do this. And because you would ask for advice, I would say, do this. And then you would go, well, why? Why do I do this? And I'm like, why are you paying me to have access to my brain if you're going to challenge every fucking thing I tell you? And then when I learned the 4 tendencies, I was like, because she has to know the why behind the what. So now when I coach her, I go, okay, so because we want X, Y, Z, I think this is the strategy. And then she'll still ask clarifying questions. And I never go, oh my God, she doesn't trust me. I just go, she's a questioner. and we work great together. I love you too, Michelle. Thank you, sweetheart. You're going to do great. I know that this is a challenging 100 days, and I know that we're going to fall behind. And I also know that you're going to do great because we're in this together. So we're going to have a blast. So good. Any other questions that y'all got before I actually do log out and dance around the room a little bit? America's Got Talent is previewing or promoting rather on television right now. And one of you beautiful people, I won't out you, is on America's Got Talent this season. And I know that you now officially are allowed to share that you're on America's Got Talent. So I'm super excited to watch that. And of course, another of you beautiful people is going to be on a new AMC series that starts up next week. There's just so much cool stuff going on in our community. I love it. And I think we have like 4 ninjas in this group who are going up for Emmys this year, or at least going through that process to get on the list of Emmy nominations. Phenomenal. Changing the world. Changing the fucking world. It's awesome. All right, you beauties. I'm not seeing any questions come up. So if you're watching this in replay and post questions in the chat, I will come back around and answer in text as best I can. Remember to find that email, April 27th, April 28th. You got an email that said, want to join the live round or whatever. Hit reply. Come on in and get in the live program so that we can have a blast. Oh, does it, Destiny? The water looks so good. Canadian water. I don't. It's just, actually, I think this is leftover Perrier. It's flat. Yeah, it wasn't flat, but it's flat now. It's time for me to refresh my water. But anyway, I know, mason jar. I'm so all over it. I love it. And I love, it's like being in this little condo allows me to see, like, if I lived by myself in this little space without all my shit, what would I actually do with the space? So anyway, Vanessa in NYC, gonna go find the email now. Okay, good. Do, because I don't want anybody who wants to be a part of the live round to miss it, for fuck's sake, because that would suck. Because if you miss it, if you're not in by May 31st, and even if you're like, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it, hit I'm in anyway, hit reply and say I'm in, because if you aren't in, you can't get in once we've started. Because we're going to be too focused on everybody who's in the program and getting these calls rolled out, and we won't be able to get you into the system. You'll still be able to access all your 100 days, of course. You just won't be receiving the emails for the calls or have access to the call page. And why would you not want access to the call page? I mean, right? Like, you should want that. So say I'm in. Go find the email, say I'm in. All right. Love you, beautiful people. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Love y'all. All right, saying goodbye from Toronto. I'll give you one last view of, what do we call it? CN Tower. Bum, bum. I should actually like walk the computer over there and show you. Yeah, that's how we'll end this. I'll take it off power. It's probably going to like crap out because of that. But let's take advantage of being on a laptop and show you some beautiful things. Let me see if I can. All right. There it is. And let's see if we can show you the water. Now, this is where it's challenging because I can't actually see the screen because of the glare. But you may be looking at the harbor right now. I don't know. You may be looking up my nose or down my cleavage. Don't know. Can't tell. But we'll go back on the tower because I can at least for sure tell when that is in the frame. All right, beauties. Be good to yourself. Love y'all.